What is going on, party people? My name is Michael. I am back with the one and only Ben Allgaier with our world-renowned Beyond the Deal. Ben, how we doing?
We're doing well, brother. You've had a hell of a week.
It's been one of those weeks. It's been good to me. We are at
Five five contracts before Thursday.
five contracts before Thursday. Yeah, it's funny. We've set the goal at five contracts in a week for a few months now. And we kept coming close to it. We had four and three, and then one of those weeks, as we say, by Wednesday, we had five contracts.
With 2 days left to go.
And
We
it's
can,
only 10:30 on Thursday right now. So
we can raise the average.
that is the goal. And
Yeah.
that's also, I mean, it's pretty cool. Lesson of itself, nothing profound, but setting the bar high. I think when we had first set that five contracts in a week, we were doing like two to three, like max, and five felt out of reach. But it's like when you really set that bar and like you're going for five, we hit it.
hmm
Right? It's like the aim for the moon. If you miss, you'll land on the stars type deal. And yeah, where we were falling short at two or three contracts a week. Now we're at five, and it's like, all right, like we said yesterday, what's the new bar? Seven? Is it eight? Is it 10?
I don't know. It's as many as we want it to be, I guess. We keep getting lead flow the way we're getting it. But I think that leads right into, the conversation we want to have today. Why are people bad at this business? Why do they fail? We've done 9 contracts in the last, what is that? It's not even 14 days. It's
10 days.
10 days. Yeah. Why are people not successful? Why are they bad at this business?
A lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And we'll talk through at least some of our own personal opinions. Not even opinions, facts, just from
hmm
our own experience. I mean, at this point, even seeing people come through our program, you see the common themes of like, I don't want to say a winner and a loser because that doesn't sound right. No one's a loser. But people who find success relatively quickly and people who spin their wheels for months at a time, right? Um, I think even a good preface of this is like we did 10 contracts in the last 10 days. Last year, things weren't as pretty as they are right now.
Nope.
Right. And so I think that is where the real most of what we're going to talk about is in the first 6 to 12 months of your business. Granted, it wasn't the first 6 to 12 months of the business. It was my first. I mean, I think I'm maybe 15, 16 months in now. You've been doing this for a long, long time, but things changed. We arranged things in the business. The first 6 to 12 months of any business, and I have been in many different businesses, is the obviously the most important part. But that's where all the mistakes happen. And that's where
hmm
people obviously wind up quitting. Sometimes people quit in way less than 6 months. But yeah, what's top of mind number one for you? Reason that people fail.
Yeah. There's so many different reasons, and we'll go over a bunch of them. My number one is the way that people approach homeowners. They're typically bad at it. And you don't have to be the best salesman in the world or, have the greatest script on the planet. None of that really matters. The thing that matters most is that you don't look at a person and treat them like a transaction. There's too many people that do that. They call the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, I saw you filled on a form online, or I saw you're going through foreclosure. What? Can you give me the details of the house? Who gives a shit about the details of the house? We can figure all of that out later. The common theme that, we teach people is 80% of the conversation should be about the person, their situation, what they're going through, their life. 20% should be about the house. And if you're really good, it should be 90-10. That's when you're going to get more deals. But if you treat somebody like a transaction, they can feel that on the other end of the phone. Or, if you're in their living room, they can feel that. If all you're doing is talking about the house, these people don't want to talk about the house. That's the pain point for them. The house sucks. They don't like the house. There's a reason they're wanting to sell the house. They want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about the situations they're going through, and they want to know that, you're that listening ear that can help them through this situation. There's so much more than the house that comes out in these conversations. And, I remember the biggest deal that I ever botched. It was an $80,000 assignment deal.
Hmm.
And it was between me and one other person. I had offered the homeowner more money. It was like $3,000 more than this other company. I was second in the door. I'd offered him 3 grand more than this other company. And I missed something. The seller said, I want a dumpster so I can throw my stuff away. And I said, you know what? Don't worry about a dumpster. Just take what you want, leave what you don't. I didn't get that deal because he wanted a fucking dumpster. He wanted to go through his stuff and be able to throw away the stuff that he didn't want to figure out what he wanted to keep. The other company got that deal offering $3,000 less when a dumpster cost $450. They made $80,000 on an assignment fee. We did not, because I didn't catch that one small piece. I was too worried about the house.
Yep.
And I missed the piece that mattered to the homeowner most.
And that's why sales is like, if you've never gone through a sales training before, it's probably new. If you have, it's not new, but it's all listening. Like people think of sales and they think of like Wolf of Wall Street style of like, what if I told you, blah, blah, blah. Is that something you might be interested in? Like, that's not what sales is. It is your ability to listen, to understand what the person wants on the other end, and then give them that. Now, obviously, you can't give them everything, right? So when I say that, it's the small things like Ben is talking about of listening. They want a dumpster. That's really important to them, right? And if people are filling out forms to sell their home cash, or if they're considering selling their home cash, they have a motivation, like clearly, right? They have a big motivation to sell. I would even argue if they're not, like, we don't obviously train real estate agents, but if I were to train real estate agents, it would be the same exact thing, right? And I'm speaking a little bit in the dark because I've never been in the real estate agent world, but it should be the same exact approach of like understanding the person and why they want to sell. If you're not in the business, you might think, oh, people just sell their houses because they want to get a new house. Like, it's never that surface level. There is always a reason why people want to sell. And if you're willing to actually sit in the pocket and go to those reasons, that is where the money is, right? And Ben, you said something like people feel that, right? They feel when you're being transactional, but not even like oh, this person's selfish. Like you're missing out on more of a feeling. So like if I talk to a homeowner, they talk to 3 other investors before me. Those three other investors most likely spent very little time in their motivation. Not all the time. There are other good investors outside of just us, but most of the time, number's sake, they didn't spend a whole lot of time. Probably a more surface level conversation. When I come in and I'm going deeper with them, I'm sticking out, right? So you know what I'm trying to say? It's not like, oh, this person's being transactional, man. It's the opposite of when you actually go deep, they feel it in a positive way of like, okay, like this person actually is,
Cares.
yeah, he actually cares, right? And it was the same thing with that woman that we were just talking about, Mary. Like, I think I told you when I first picked up the phone, she was a little bit short because she had already talked to other people. And I mean, we could read some of the text messages that me and her going back and forth this morning, but like 3 minutes into the conversation, just from asking a few questions about her and not asking anything really about the house, she's telling me her life story. And so I'm telling you, people will and do feel that difference in how you ask them questions and not about the last time they replaced their windows.
Yeah, who gives a shit? I don't care. We can figure all of that out from photos or, asking that at the very end. Oh, hey, by the way, you know, we've gone through all of this stuff. Just before we hop off the phone, before I take it to my underwriting team, can you just give me a little background on that? How old's that roof? How old are your windows? When was the last time you replaced the HVAC? Have any foundation problems? Okay, great. That's all I need. Perfect. That
Yeah.
took 30 seconds. Most
So
people jump into that in the beginning.
totally, you really get property condition in
Yeah.
3 minutes. If somebody has photos, there's times I've spent 10 seconds talking about property condition because they're like, oh, I have photos of it. Beautiful. Send it to me. How old's the roof? HVAC. Good. We're good to go.
Brilliant. What
So
else you got? What other mistakes do you see?
Number one is treating people like transactions, not like people. I will say mine we'll go back and forth. My biggest thing is expectations of what it actually takes to succeed in this business and in any business. People are sold dreams from social media. They're sold fairy tales of you can make 10K a month in 90 days and you're going to be financially free and you're going to retire your family. And it jades people when they actually get started. You can accomplish all of those things that I just said in this business, but it's not going to happen in 90 days. And it's probably not going to happen in 6 months, although we've seen some pretty crazy stuff happen in 6 months. So I won't rule it off the table. But when your expectations are off and you think it's going to be a certain way, and you think it's going to be easy, and then you actually step into the day to day of this business, you are punched in the face, right? And if you've never been punched in the face before, it stings. And it just creates a cycle of like, wow, this kind of sucked. And then your willingness to show up the next day or the next week goes down. And after a month, you're like, do I even want to do this anymore? And so it really starts with day one of understanding what it takes, accepting that responsibility of, okay, I know what I'm getting myself into, but I know that I want this. And so I'm going to do it knowing that it's going to suck.
Yeah. And I mean, that's literally what we just talked about on our coaching call was that was my entire life when I got started. Drove around, knocked on doors for 6, 8 months. It was awful. It was awful. But I hadn't earned the ability to not do that. I was new in the business. I had not earned the right to sit at a computer and do what we do now. I had to go out there and earn that. That's what I did. We did a boatload of deals. It wasn't, the first house that I knocked on, somebody said, "Oh, yeah, I'm willing to sell my house. Give me the paperwork. Let's go. Here, you go make $50,000 assigning this to somebody else." That's not how it worked. It was hundreds of doors. We got dozens of contracts. We built this business to be, a massively profitable business, but it wasn't overnight. And 6 months later, 8 months later, whatever it took, I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad I did the hard shit because most people are not willing to do that. Most people that get into any business are like, "Oh, I thought this was going to be easy. I thought I was going to make 4 phone calls, have a deal locked up, and then go make 4 more phone calls, have another deal locked up. I have to make, 50, 60, 100 phone calls. Well, that sucks."
Yeah.
What doesn't suck is looking up a month from today and there's a wire hitting your bank account for 30 grand. That doesn't suck, but you have to do the repetitions to be able to earn the ability to make $30,000.
Yep. And everything's a sale, right? It's, am I willing to door knock and drive for dollars and be told no a million times for the sake of what you want? And like, there's so much fun that you can have in this business. I mean, even Ben went to drive to the property I got under contract, this woman who I was just talking about, Mary. And it's kind of fun, right, Ben? I mean, you could speak to it, but it's like
Yeah.
you're going out to the property, you're talking to this old lady, shooting the shit, like just having a good time. But you gotta earn your stripes to be able to do that. And a lot of it is, it's such a combination. It's like tough to even put into words. But like on a foundational level, it's education. Like you need to know what you're talking about to be able to have these different ways to flex in and out of like, we could do this, we could do that. We could sell the property and then sell the land after the fact because she was sitting on like 5 different lots. It's a whole culmination of putting in the work and earning your stripes. As unfortunate and maybe partially cheesy as that may sound, it's just a necessity to be able to do the fun stuff like go out, do a drive by, be able to make 30, 40 grand on a deal because you have this flexibility in terms of exit strategies.
And even further than that, the fun part is, you go make 30 grand on a deal, you call your wife, you call your husband and go, "Hey, let's go on vacation. Let's go do that vacation that we've never been able to do." Well, why? Well, I just made $30,000 on a deal. I just closed the deal, put 30 grand in our account. We can go now afford to do that vacation. We can afford to, go redo our kitchen because we've been talking about it for 10 years and never did it. We can go do those things now. I mean, even for the younger crowd, you can go buy the car that you want. I don't recommend it because I would say put that money back into marketing, especially if you're young. You can go do all those fun things later. But, go treat yourself. Buy that new pair of Jordans that you want. Great. Spend a couple $100s. Go treat yourself from these things that you have worked to earn. You get your stripes, there's benefits that come with it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's going and playing golf.
Ben loves his golf. So that's number two. We've got, what was number one? Treating people like transactions, not people.
Transaction. Yeah.
Expectation setting from the beginning. What you got at number three?
I would say number three is follow up. How many deals have we done in the past month that was a one call close?
None one call close.
Yeah.
But if I'm being generous, I'm saying two call close within the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of, I think, two out of maybe like, I don't know, 30, 40.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very often that, you get a person on the phone, you tell them, hey, I'm going to call you back with an offer, and you give them the offer, and they're like, yeah, perfect, send over the paperwork. But people get frustrated because it takes follow up. You have to have systems in place to do that, and you have to be willing to do the follow up. Even if you don't have systems in place. Like I said, when I was driving around knocking on doors, how many people answered the door, said, yeah, give me the contract right now? No, you have to keep following up with these people. We've gotten so many deals. So over the past 12 months, we've built this entire pipeline. We basically restarted our business 12 months ago. New lead channels, new lead flows, new systems. Over the past 12 months, we've had a litany of deals that we talked to 6, 8, 12 months ago that now have come back. We've got them under contract, and we're going to make money on these deals. It's just because, one, in the beginning, we built the rapport. We didn't treat them like a transaction, so they wanted to work with us. They just weren't ready then. Now they're ready. We're seeing the fruits of our labors from 12 months ago come back, and we're making money on these deals. But most people fail in this business because they don't want to do the follow-up. They want that instant gratification. This business is not instant gratification. I don't know very many businesses that are instant gratification. Maybe day trading. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
there's instant gratification, and then there's also the instant detrimental side of day trading where you lose all your freaking money.
Yeah. And what kind of sucks about that is that we live in a modern society of consumerism and instant gratification.
I want it now.
Everything from obviously the cell phone that gives you the dopamine hits to
Amazon.
my
You have
Amazon.
yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth. The Amazon delivery is going to show up in 24 hours to a million other things that you can get now.
DoorDash.
DoorDash
Food now.
now. And so it conditions us to be in a hurry. I'm reading this book that is so good. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Say that again.
The
Articulate.
ruthless elimination of hurry.
I like it.
And it is really good. And it's just all about like stopping the hurry. Because hurry is like there's like the physical hurry, then there's the anxiousness that comes with hurry. Right. And you're going from this to that, where it's like you just gotta slow down. And in a business context, to what you're saying, Ben, is when your timeline isn't I need to get this deal in the next week, and your timeline is 12 months, God forbid I say 2 years, 3 years, like you actually, again, going back to the expectations, you set yourself up to actually succeed because there is the skill that comes in that time. And there's just the natural deals of, like you're saying, people who aren't ready to sell right away. But then we keep them in our follow-up systems and we keep calling them and texting them 5 months later and they're ready. So you asked how many one call closes we've had in the last month. I said two. We've also probably had 3 or 4 contracts of people who originally we made first contact with 6 months ago, which is pretty gnarly because we didn't do anything extra for that. Like they were just in our system and we just kept following up with them.
The biggest deal we ever did was an 11 follow-up. $101,000. 11 months of follow-up to make 101 grand. I think most people would be willing to do that. Follow up for 11 months to make 101. If somebody told you 11 months from now, as long as you follow up with this person, one text message a month, you're going to make $101,000. I don't know many people who wouldn't do that.
Like, also, took the words out of my mouth. It all comes down to certainty and uncertainty. Everything. Like the exact thing, the way that you just put that was so perfect. If you knew for a fact that that deal would close and you make 100 grand in 11 months, there's no doubt in my mind that you would do it. If you knew for a fact, like if I had a magic wand and I could, or a genie, and I said, if you make 300 cold calls per day, 5 months, that by the end of it, no matter what, you would have an extra 50 grand in your bank account, you would do it. Right? It's when the uncertainty creeps in where you're like, you have those limiting beliefs of, is this even worth it? No one's picking up my phone calls. I'm not getting through to anybody. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And it's like those beliefs then impact your thoughts. Your thoughts impact your actions. You get the negative result, and boom, your negative beliefs are reinforced. And so, yeah.
To and
Go ahead.
to not take your next, downfall of wholesalers, but I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people fail at in this business is they're unfocused because it doesn't work right away. They bounce around between 17 different marketing strategies. They never stick to something. And they fail because the people that are successful in this business have proven if you stick with it, you will not fail. People are not willing to stick with it long enough for it to succeed. That's a huge problem. And that's why people fail. Like, let me go look at absentee lists. Let me pull the absentee list. So I didn't get a deal in 3 weeks from absentee. I'm gonna switch over to probate. Okay, let me learn probate. I didn't get a probate deal in a month. Okay, let me go to mailers. Oh, mailers haven't worked for a couple months. So let me go to PPL. These PPL sources, they're not working either. So they're spending all of this money and all of this time chasing something that it's the what, 3 feet from gold theory. Every single one of those works. But if you quit when you're 3 feet from gold, you're just digging a bunch of tunnels. And the next guy's going to come in, dig the tunnel a little bit longer. He's going to hit the gold.
Yeah. I've seen it with people jumping from business to business.
Uh-huh.
They're like, I'm gonna start day trading, and then it's like, this didn't work. A month later, I'm drop shipping now. Now I'm gonna start an ad agency. Yeah, let me try wholesaling. It's like you are just guaranteeing yourself to fail. So the same thing goes in terms of focus inside of like you're saying, inside the actual real estate business itself is find a lane or two and take it to the depths that it needs to go. And it helps when you have people like Ben and I who like walk the path and can tell you, hey, this is a little bit better for this reason. That's what you say here, but also for the certainty that what we were just talking about. Of we're like, if you're watching this, borrow our certainty that this is what it takes, and borrow our certainty that this does work, right? Because sometimes it's hard. You don't know where the certainty is coming from, so that's why you quit. That's why you stay unfocused. But it's like we're telling you, this is not a theory. This is like proven practice. I mean, Ben, how long have you been doing real estate now?
I think this is year 9.
9. Probably learned a thing or two in that time. Cool.
A little
Take
bit.
it, yeah, and walk with it, run with it. Um, what are those? Was that 4?
Yeah.
Treat and see people like transactions, expectations, no follow up, unfocused.
Yep. I think that's a good place to cut it, right? Let's not make this too long where people are like, oh my God, there's way too many things that I can use to fail.
Yeah, we'll end it there. With that, I would just say, I mean, pretty much a culmination of just consistency. And we talked a little bit about that, but just like actually letting things compound. I read a book very early in my entrepreneur walk, The Compound Effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like pretty much everything we just talked about. Like you need to let time work in your advantage. And whoever has the longest time horizon of success will win. Like it's a simple, almost common sense of like you do something for long enough, you're going to figure it out. Just expectations have the right expectations of what it takes, how long it's going to take, and just do your best. Like you can, like it could really be as simple as that.
Yeah. If you've watched anything Alex Hormozy, that's his whole thesis on his entire reason for being successful.
Time horizon.
Yep.
But all right, we'll end it there. Hope you got some value out of this. If there's anything you wanted to talk about, drop it in the comments. If there's something that stuck out to you, let us know. We don't get thousands of viewers, but people who are watching, let us know. We'll talk about it next time. Later.